Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I have another theatre vlog for you. Tonight we're heading to the Lowry to see the play Quiz. I'm not sure where we're sat tonight because we're collecting tickets once we get there. Lawrence is actually coming with me tonight, which is nice because we very rarely get to go anywhere together. So it's nice that we're going together. So obviously I'll show you around the theatre, show you our view from our seats, and then I'll give you a review of the show when I get home. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this little video. So we've just arrived at Lowry. Well, we're just across the water from it. It's just come up to 7 o'clock now, so we got here in time. There wasn't that much traffic from the match. I think they must already all be at the match. But yeah, we're gonna head over, walk across the bridge into the Lowry. Okay, so we are in the theatre now. Just picked up our tickets from the press desk, so we're in the stalls from row OC 31 and 32. So those are our tickets. Okay, so we're now in the theatre. We've picked up our programme, picked up our tickets, which I just showed you, and we also picked up, I just told you 1 second, we also picked up our keypads. So you have these. There's some audience participation in the show, so you have your little keypads. That'll be interesting. Interested to see what you need to do with these. But yeah, I think the auditorium is actually open now, so I might go and head in, and I will let you know in the interval what our interval thoughts are. So this is where you collect your little keypads on the way in. So people are just collecting theirs, but I think we're going to head in now because I think it's about 7:15. Okay, so we're in door A, so we're just going to head in as door A, just here. Okay, so we're just heading into our seats now. So we're row O, seat 31 and 32. Oh, so we should be we're on this side. End. Oh, they know I like the end. This one. Oh wait, no, we're this side.
What numbers?
31, 32.
Yeah.
So we're still on the end. There we go. Okay, so we're now in our seats. We are on the end of a row, which is great. I love sitting on the end of a row, and the view's really good from here. I think, like I said, the Lowry, you find it hard to get a bad view in the Lowry. It's really well spaced out with the seats and everything, so I've never really been to Lowry and not had a good view. But yeah, the set looks interesting. It's set up like the courtroom. It looks good. It's quite dark, so you can't see it very well, but I'll give you a quick look of our view from our seats. Okay, so this is the view from our seats. It's not bad. I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can see the stage bit. So it's quite dark, so you can't see greatly, but yeah, that's our view. So we'll be back to you now at the interval and let you know what our interval thoughts are. Lawrence is reading the programme, and we've got, oh, where's they gone? There we are. We've got these for...
Oh, we'll play along?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get back to an interval. So it's now the interval. What do you think, Lauren?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah?
I'm liking the, what's his name, playing Chris Tarrant.
Yeah, he's really good, isn't he? He sounds a lot like him.
Yeah, well, I know him from TV.
Oh dear,
yeah.
I don't watch any TV, so I don't
There's
know
another
any
actor
of
on
the
TV that I know. He's not in this, I don't think he is.
Yeah, it's really, really good. We've used the keypad, these pads,
Yeah.
twice. Obviously, there's not really much you can use them for because they're only allowed to use them once, aren't they, in the show? They ask the audience.
Well, they did one for the Croatians, and like 92% people get it right, which a good common guy said. You know, in Manchester, because everyone do that. So.
Yeah, did you know the answer? You don't watch Connie?
I was Gail or Sally. I was between those two. So I went with Gail.
Yeah. So yeah, just having an orange juice each. But yeah, we're enjoying it so far. So obviously we'll tell you more about it at the end of the show. So the show has finished now. It was really good, really enjoyed it. But now I've got to try and get home before all the football. Yeah, so I'll get back to you once we're home. Hi, so now back from the theatre. Lawrence has to go straight to bed because he starts work at 5 o'clock in the morning and it is now coming up to midnight. And yeah, it took us quite a long time to get back because there was a match on at Old Trafford, and so we got the first tram, we got squashed with a load of football fans and we almost didn't get off the tram because no one would move to let us off, and the doors ended up getting stuck and we had to squeeze out the doors in order to try and get off the tram. Luckily we made it off. And then the second tram we got on, we then got squashed with loads more football fans because that goes right past the Old Trafford football ground, so we were squashed on that one. And because people were overloading the trams and wouldn't get off, there was a delay on the trams going, and so yeah, we just got back really late. So Lawrence has gone to bed, but I thought I would give you a quick review of Quiz. We were kindly gifted our tickets for the show's press night. We went to the show on a Tuesday evening performance, which started at 7:30 at the Lowry. It's in the Lowry's Lyric Theatre, which is their biggest theatre. We were sat in the stalls. We were on row O, seat 31 and 32. So it's the side seats, but we were on the aisle. Well, I was sat on the aisle. The view was really good from there. The thing with the Lowry is, in the stalls, I don't think you get a bad view from anywhere. It's got really good sight lines, the Lowry, because it's a modern theatre. It's been really well built so that you get good sight lines from wherever you sit in most seats. So yeah, definitely recommend them seats. It was a really good view. There wasn't any merch for the show other than the programme. The programme was £6, however ours was gifted because we were reviewing the show. So if you don't know anything about Quiz, it is a play by James Graham and it's based on Charles Ingram and the coffin scandal that surrounded his £1 million win on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So if you don't know anything about this scandal, it basically, Charles Ingram was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He won the £1 million, but during the show people got suspicious of him and thought he was cheating. They didn't know how he was doing it until after the show, and they looked back at the tapes and they discovered that there seemed to be coughing happening when he was reading out the correct answers, and they believed that it was his wife and another contestant who was called Tarquin Whittock, who was helping Ingram with the answers. The play actually focuses on the trial of Charles Ingram Diana Ingram and Tarquin Whittet. Act 1 of the play shows the case for the prosecution, and Act 2 shows the case for the defence. So during the trial we're introduced to other characters who are witnesses, and this allows us to go to flashbacks of when the actual scandal took place. So we are taken from the courtroom back to the TV studio where the whole scandal took place. And throughout the play there are little montages which show us different clips of things that happen. So we're taken back and we're shown how the format of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was developed. We're shown little insights into the Ingram's life. So we're shown how Diana Ingram and her brother were massive quiz fans and were often at pub quizzes. We're also told about the Syndicate, which is a network of quiz fanatics who helped hundreds of people actually get on to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So they worked out the system of how you could get on it. I think they worked out that they only asked you 2 questions. So you would ring up and then they would ring so many people back. They'd ask you a question, and if you got that question right, you could go on to the show. And it's always quite a hard question. However, people worked out they only seem to have 2 questions that they use in rotation. So they would work out the answers and then tell these people, which then allowed them to get on the show. And then the Syndicate took a percentage of whatever winnings they actually won on the show. And then also through these montages we also see how the Ingrams actually suffered due to the media frenzy which surrounded the case. So that is the basic story of Quiz. The set design for this show was actually quite good. So you started off with the courtroom set, and then it was very quickly and seamlessly changed up to the TV studio. So they brought out the chair, it moved into the middle. It already had the lighting rig at the top like they did on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire show. It's like this round lighting rig. They had screens on the back of the stage which would they had screens on the back of the stage, and then they had cameras which would zoom in on the contestant in the chair, which would be Charles Ingram, and then it would be shown by a live feed on the screens, which I thought was really good. Also zoomed in on the audience, so like on his wife when she was reacting to his answers to the questions, the cameras would zoom on her and then it would be shown on the screen. So it very much looked like you're in a TV studio. So that really helped, I think, having the TV screens. And also the lighting and music which were used for this were really good. It definitely made you feel the tension like you did on the TV series. So I thought that was done really, really well. And then as well as using the cameras when they were in the TV studios, they also used the cameras to show interviews with a few different characters who will give their opinion on the case, and that will be projected onto the screens. They even had some people stood in front of a green screen at one point, and then it showed you on the screen what the background would be, and that was when different media outlets from around the world were reporting on the case. So that was quite good the way they did that and used the screens. So I thought the cast of Quiz were really good. I thought it was a great ensemble cast, and quite a few cast members actually had to play multiple roles. So playing Chris Tarrant, we had Rory Bremner, and he was fantastic as Chris Tarrant. He had all his mannerisms down. He had his body language and everything about him was so good that I actually believed I was watching Chris Tarrant on stage. He was absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed his performance as Chris Tarrant. We then had Reeves as Charles Ingram, and he gave a really good performance. He definitely brought out Ingram's vulnerable side, and he actually made the character quite likeable, which I wasn't expecting. And then playing Diana Ingram, we had Charley Webb, and it's actually her stage debut. She's never actually done anything on stage before. She's done a lot of television work, but she hadn't done any stage work. And I think she did really well playing the straight-laced Diana Ingram. I thought her performance was really believable, and I liked the way she played the role. So I also have to mention Suk Ojla, Dean Graham. They both had excellent multi-rolling skills. They played lots of different roles, which they were able to slip into seamlessly. They just slipped into these different roles seamlessly. Each role was very different. The characters were all very unique, and they just made each one unique and interesting. So I thought they did really well with the number of roles that they had to play. So one interesting aspect of this play is that when the audience enter the theatre, we're all given a little keypad, and then during the show we actually get to use this to vote on whether we think the Ingrams were guilty or not guilty. So at the end of Act 1, after we've seen the prosecution, we get to vote whether we think they're guilty or not guilty, and then we also get to vote at the end of the show after seeing the defence. We get to vote again to see whether we think they're guilty or not guilty. And it's actually interesting to see how many people actually change their minds after hearing the argument from the defence. A lot of people change their minds. I can't remember the exact scores, but I think I can check because I think I took a picture. So hold on 1 second, I'll see if I can check. So I can't find the exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure the first vote after the prosecution was like 92 or something found guilty, and then after we'd heard the defence, it was 41% guilty, and no, 49% guilty, 51% not guilty. So it completely flipped after hearing the defence. So yeah, it was interesting to see how people's minds were changed by some of the new evidence they heard from the defence. I have to say the defence was actually really convincing. It actually changed my mind. Like before I was 100% he was guilty, but then after hearing what they had to say, it sort of makes sense. It just seemed not possible to be done the way they said it, and so it did make me question what I originally thought. So yeah, it was interesting. So anyway, I think now's probably a good time to give you a quick look at the programme and show you who the cast were, so you can see their actual biographies in here. Okay, so here is the front of the programme. It says here that it's on at the Lowry until the 28th of October. Inside you've got some adverts for some upcoming shows. Some more adverts. More adverts. More adverts. And then you get into your information on the show. So this is an article. It says the birth and life of the Great British Game Show, and it's just some information on game show and on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Quiz. So this is some stories that stay with you. And this is information on Quiz the show. So this is information on the actual theatre production, how it came to be, and how it's ended up at the place it is now. And we've got some nice rehearsal shots here. I love it when they have actual pictures in the programme, so I like that. So here is the cast list here. Ensemble. On the creative team. And then here it says it's based on Bad Show, The Quiz, The Cough, The Millionaire Major by Bob Woffenden and James Plaskett. It says Quiz is a fictional imagination based on real events which took place in 2001 following an episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It is not in any way connected with the makers of the programme or any of the individuals portrayed. The television programme Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is produced by Two-Way Traffic. And then here we have the cast biographies. So we have the cast biographies, and these are in alphabetical order. So we have Stefan Adegbola playing Paul Smith / Alan Maurice. We have Mark Atolin playing Tarquin Whittock, Mark Burnett and the Quizmaster. We have Mark Benton, who usually plays Judge Rivlin, David Lidmont, Paddy Spooner, Dr. Williamson and Adrian Wolfe. But for our performance we had, I can find him in here, we had Dean Graham playing those parts, and he was excellent. He was really, really good. Playing Chris Tarrant, we had the amazing Rory Bremner. Like I mentioned before, he was excellent as Chris Tarrant. You really believed you were watching him on the stage. And if you don't know anything about Rory Bremner, he is an impersonator and a comedian. So he did really well playing that part. Then we had Daniel Henry, who was Sonia Woodley QC. Then we have Suk Ojla, who again played a number of roles. John DeMole, Claudia, Rachel DaCosta, Lizzie, Ruth Settle, and production manager / PC. So she is a comedian, actor and writer, and she's performed on many TV shows including Laura Whitmore's Breakfast Show, British Asian Stand Up, The Comedy Edge Life, Johnson Ross Comedy Club, and a few other things as well. Then we had Lewis Reeves playing Charles Ingram. So he has some theatre credits. He's been in My Night with Reg, he's been in Our Boys, he's been in Muscle and Oi for England. That's some of his theatre credits. Then we had Jay Taylor playing Major General Roberts, Adrian Pollock and David Briggs. Their stage credits include Alone in Berlin, Baskerville, 46 Beacon, and there's a few more there. And then playing Diana Ingram is Charley Webb. Like I said, this was her stage debut. She's not done anything on stage before. She's probably most well known for her role in Emmerdale, and she most recently appeared in The Long Shadow on ITV, and she features in Better on BBC. So those are some of the things you might have seen her in. We then had Leo Ringer as Nicholas Hillard QC and Rachel's father. He has performed across the UK at the Theatre Royal, Stratford East, National Theatre, Mill Cowers Theatre and a number of other theatres. Some productions he's been in is Hamlet, The Fool in King Lear, The County Squirrel and a few others. We then have Valerie Antwi, she's Ensemble. Dean Graham, like I said, he's usually Ensemble, but he was playing the roles which Mark Bennett usually play. Then we then got Simon Victor, who is an Ensemble member, and that is the cast for the show. And then with these, then we have the creative team's biographies. And that is the programme. So I really enjoyed Quiz. I thought it was really good. It's a little bit different than things I've seen before, with the use of the cameras and the audience participation with the voting pads and things. So it's a little bit different than things I've seen before, but I found this show engaging and thought-provoking. It definitely made me rethink and question my thoughts on whether Charles Ingram was guilty or not. At the beginning I really thought he was guilty, but by the end I was really questioning that, and I actually thought that he might not be guilty. So it definitely made you think about things, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good. Lawrence really enjoyed it as well. I think we'd definitely give it 4 stars. Like I said, it's a little bit different than things we've seen before. We really enjoyed the little voting pads, although they didn't use it that much. You used it twice to vote whether you thought he was guilty or not. And then there was one part in the show where they did ask the audience, but obviously you can only ask the audience once in the game show, so we only got asked it once. So there wasn't really too much more they could have done with that, but it was really interesting using that. And they got the results really quickly and up on the screen as well, which was really interesting. And also at the end of the show, they actually put up other people's votes from during the week, so you can see how other audience members had voted, which I thought was really interesting as well. So yeah, I definitely recommend Quiz. We gave it 4 stars. It's on at the Lowry until Saturday the 28th of October, so you've still got a chance to see it and get tickets. So I'll link down below where you can get tickets for the Lowry shows. So I'll also link down below Quiz's official website, so you can see where it will be touring to in case you want to catch it at a venue near you. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this little vlog and review. If you do enjoy these sort of videos, do subscribe, because I do a lot of these videos on my channel. Next week I will be reviewing the new musical Treason, so if you're interested in seeing that, like I said, do subscribe and hit the notification bell. You'll be notified as soon as that video goes up. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.